Even so, come quickly, Lord Jesus. Wendy, that's my take, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Stay in line. We'll get you fixed up with a couple of books, a couple of DVDs. And this, and Shannon, why don't you tell us a little bit about this? Now, you know, a lot of people say, oh, there's all these conspiracy theories out there. This is from the CDC Gov. This is from the Center of Disease Control.gov. This is not made up. This is probably one of the scariest things that I have seen that just came out today. Shannon, tell us a little bit about this crazy document from the Center of Disease Control, U.S. government.
So the Center of Disease Control, as well as FEMA and other government organizations or even non-government organizations, come out with memos and disclosures in regards to procedures and policies that they plan to enact. This particular one is called the Shielding Approach to COVID-19, and we will put it on to Every Man and Answer's Facebook page and Voice of Truth Facebook page so everybody can read it. But it specifically talks about shielding approaches and what we can do to lessen the risk to individuals who might come in contact with COVID-19 to prevent the progression of COVID-19. And it goes through different things like keeping people basically on house arrest. It's called the HH level approach. I can't see it from here, and then it goes through community lockdown essentially and a neighborhood level lockdown for high risk individuals. And then it goes to the next level, which is a camp sector level, which is an internment camp sector level, to where there would only be one entry point to use for the exchange of food and supplies to people that are in that internment camp. There would be one meeting area used for residents and visitors to interact with people who literally can't be more than 2 meters within distance of each other. There would be no movement inside or outside of the green zone, which would be a sector that they block off if they consider you high risk or if they consider the area that you're in high risk, and how they would be physically isolating individuals in camps because of COVID-19. Now, that's not conspiracy. That's what the document says. And it talks about prerequisites for that. What person would be deemed necessary to stay at home, what person or a group of people should be locked in a community, and what groups of people should be actually locked into an internment camp, what deems them as high risk, and the humanitarian efforts thereof. And so this is a document I suggest everybody reads. I think it's very clear from my stint on this program and my other program on my belief system in regards to forced vaccination, the COVID-19 vaccine itself, and now this document talking about internment camps for not receiving the vaccine and or force inoculating people who will be interned. So this is something you need to look at. They do go through the ramifications of what do we do with people who have certain religious practices? What do we do with people who are considered high risk? What is the mental effects on a society if we lock people up? I mean, so if you look at it, it looks like they're going through all the science to rationalize their approach and what they think would be the best. Yeah. If we lock everybody up, then what's going to be the impact of society? What's going to be people's mental health? Is that going to be the most beneficial or not? But it's extremely sinister and extremely concerning. We know that they have had FEMA camps for a while. Again, no conspiracy. It's just a fact. FEMA has camps. It is what it is. What they're used for, we'll find out. But when you read this, the operational considerations for implementing and shielding approach to prevent COVID-19 infections, it's quite scary. And this is all for a virus, by the way, that has a 97% survival rate, which is even more sinister and scary. So we'll post it. You guys can read it and make your own conclusions on it. But there's definitely something behind the scenes. Like Jeff said, 2020 has come at us fast and furious. And if it is more than evident to know the elite's agenda and what they plan on doing, in my opinion.
To all of us, yes. And so I think we need to be very careful. I don't trust them whatsoever. I haven't. And after this last election, and I see all the shenanigans, the illegal stuff that goes on, the courts refusing to even look at the facts, to come to an understanding that, in fact, there was widespread cheating. They can prove it. They got videos showing it, and the courts won't hear it. Now, why is that? I don't trust them at all.
Well, when they talk about locking you up for 60 days, I think in the document, a minimum of 60 days without any interaction.
Yeah, that's the Gestapo.
What happened to 14-day confinement, right, Jeff? Didn't it say 14 days of home confinement if you're exposed to COVID? Is you're supposed to self-isolate? So 60 days, huh?
Yes, and I recently read Canada has already come out and said that if you don't get the vaccination, then you're not. They literally put it this way: you will be severely restricted in your ability to travel or function in Canadian culture. And that's something that Canada came out with just a few days ago. I read it. I think it was on Fox News, whatever, but it's not about COVID.
Nope.
No, it's control.
To me, it's so clear. You know, you look at these poor restaurant owners in California, New York, who they're losing their livelihood completely. And yet, I read, Shannon, that it's actually a 0.5% of people that actually die from COVID.
Wow.
And it's 99.5% people survive it. So this has been co-opted by people with an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's very suspect. It's very suspicious. And I watched these restaurant owners interviewed just today. One man was almost in tears. He's lost his livelihood. He was in New York. And he's saying, look, there's no danger of death for most people. And yet we're all losing our restaurants, our livelihood, our income, our families, our homes. And for what? Well, you have to be suspicious of this, because what COVID does to you does not equate into this measure of quarantine and all of the frantic stuff that primarily Democrat governors and Democrat mayors are doing. You don't find these primarily in Republican-run counties or cities. It's mainly Democrat.
Yeah, and it's scary stuff.
Yes, it is.
We'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow. I think, Jeff, you'll be with me on tomorrow. Shannon probably as well.
Yes.
Look forward to being back with all of you. Dan, I know we wanted to get to your question especially. Please call us back. We'll put you on first thing tomorrow.